Hi there, this is Ryan Malloy here at the Worldwide Center of Mathematics. In this video, we're going to discuss limits with sine and cosine in calculus. So here we have our two familiar trigonometric functions, sine and cosine. And we're going to look at these three limits. A limit as x